guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are having an interview for our segment, What It's Like to Be a Retro Game Store Owner in California in Game Tower with the store owner, Elliot. Thank you for having us in your store, brother, and thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you for you guys showing up, man. I appreciate you guys.
So, I have a couple questions
Yeah.
in a general business sense. So, this is a retro game store, but can you describe your day-to-day operations in running a retro game store?
Yeah. I mean, we always look at inventory, what we got to do, whether we got to post it, price it, ship it out. But we also do a bunch of repairs. We're one of the few stores in the Valley that offer that service, even cleaning services for your systems. A lot of stores don't do that. We get our daily goals ready. We always have a daily goal what to make, weekly, monthly, and it's pretty much it. Just having the store clean, organized, priced out. Besides video games, we also have a TCG section, so we make sure our cards are organized and priced out as well, whether it's singles, vintage packs, any of the modern stuff, and a little bit of collectibles we take in. So any figures that are related to video games, we do take that in the store as well.
And it's a loaded store. Honestly, there's a lot of inventory in here. So I'm pretty mind blown at how much selection of cards that you have. You have a whole wall of NES games over there. What challenges do you face in maintaining and stocking inventory for your store?
Just trade-ins, just because there is a lot of game hunters out there, whether they're a video game store or not. I guess you can say competition is definitely on the rise. Going through the swap meets, the yard sales, the flea markets, even on Craigslist, OfferUp, Macari as well. There's always people buying, selling, and trading. So sometimes it is a little bit of an issue, trying to get, that bundle deal, and you might be 5 minutes late to it, So I would say that's probably the only challenge. But luckily, for us, we do have groups of people and vendors that do sell to us. We offer them a percentage, whether that's cash or store credit, and that's how we're able to, maintain the level of inventory that we have on a daily basis.
Well, it's a lot harder for most people, so you having all of this is a blessing in itself to run and have a fully operational business.
Yeah.
Where nothing's skimp and it's plenty to find for someone.
Yeah.
So with retro games, how do you stay current with trends and the demand for retro video games?
So we are very big on Instagram. When people send us messages, call us at the shop, we really take our job serious of what games they're looking for. Even though we might not have the game in stock, we'll call everyone around our area to see if they have, for example, GoldenEye. If for some reason we don't have GoldenEye in stock, well, give us about an hour, we'll get that game in stock. So we always listen to our followers, our customers, because we want them to be happy with the games that they buy from us, because we also do take care of our games. We clean them, we test them. We also give out warranty as well, and we just always want to make sure that customer always comes back to us. That's a great way to build that relationship with that customer.
Right, and that word to mouth also brings in their friends and
definitely.
who they acquainted with. So that's really good for you guys.
Exactly. Yeah.
What's the most popular item in your game store, or what do you think everyone's looking for the most?
So, as one category that definitely stands out would be our GameCube section. GameCube has definitely been on a rise. It took us a slight slope down, but it's still consistent with the, I guess you can say, games getting sold. You see on eBay, all the Mario parties, the Smash Bros, the Mario Kart, the Zelda games, the F-Zeros, Kirby's, all those first party titles, man, they're just consistent. So we always make sure we have those games in stock, because on a Friday night, what better way to have a great night of getting your friends together on Smash Bros and beating up each other, and usually that's what people buy. They'll get the system, multiple controllers, they can get Mario Kart and Smash Bros Mario Party, and they have a great time with that, and they still come back to play those single player games, because I think there's over close to 600 GameCube games, something like that.
Correct.
So they'll look at the library and see what single player games or games that they never heard before, or if they are in multiple platforms, because games came out, PS2, Xbox. They'll probably want to try it on the GameCube. So I think GameCube for us is it's a blessing because I think we do have the most in the valley, and we always make sure, our walls, is beefy.
Yeah, that's the most
Yeah.
largest GameCube selection I've seen, and the amount of titles that you have for Mario Party and Super Mario Sunshine is insane. That's
Yeah.
the most I've seen in person.
Yeah. To me, like if we only have like 2 melee games in stock, that's a problem. Man. We gotta have like 8 of them at least.
Right, you gotta be able, yeah, you gotta be ready for that
Yeah.
wave to come in out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And what would you say is your least selling item that no one looks for? Not filler titles, but just like something that you think that's gonna do good, but it's just like a brush off for everyone else.
So surprisingly, I would say Vita.
Vita.
Vita, I don't know. Vita's it's a weird mix, right? Because we know it's on the rise. We know it's expensive. It's discontinued. It's obsolete. They don't make it no more. There is a lot of great popular games, especially the JRPG games. We have those games, but they just sometimes just sit, and then we started noticing that people, can't afford them, because of the high price on PS Vita games. So they do a lot of modding, right? So they try to get the whole emulators on the PS Vita. So that that hurts us a little bit because then the games won't get sold. But we understand that on the customer's perspective that these games are so expensive that they have to mod the PS Vita games to play it on the handheld. So I would say PS Vita is probably our least favorite section, I guess you can say. As a consumer.
Right, that's interesting because a lot of people say Xbox, but
Xbox,
maybe because 360 is on the rise, that
Yeah.
kind of brings like the market to
Yeah.
want to grab
Yeah,
it
yeah.
before it's too late.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with you on that because the 360 is a sleeping giant.
Yeah.
Even like Most Wanted, man, like that's $100 game now.
Really?
Even the gold edition of Marvel Alliance,
yeah.
$200, complete in box. That's
crazy.
That's those prices. Yeah, that's insane, man. So 360 is definitely a sleeping giant. But also too, we do have a big Xbox community out here. I'm an Xbox guy. My employees here are Xbox guys. So we do sell a lot of Xbox games.
Gotcha. And that I want to rewind it back to when you were mentioning modding and emulating. Why do you think people want to buy a physical copy of a game when emulation is a thing?
I would say because when you buy a physical game, it's definitely a different feeling. Playing an emulator, just even the sound effect, the graphic, the movement of the game. I would say it's definitely not the same. It's not the same feeling because it's kind of like you're buying like a Chinese knockoff in a way,
right?
And sometimes it glitches, or sometimes it's not even the full game. So like if you're in a mission or something and you remember certain steps, what to do in that mission, but the emulator doesn't have those features, then it's completely not the full game.
Right.
So but I can understand why people still get the emulator no matter what, where they can get more games in that little SD card. So
Correct.
yeah.
And do you think gaming has become more of a collector's market, or people actually do want to sit down and play these games?
I would say it's definitely a collector's market because you even see like little kids born into this generation. You would think they'll be into like all the modern games like Switch, PS4, PS5, and Xbox One, but funny enough, they actually look at the retro stuff, how it started, where it comes from. So they'll look at the 8-bit, the 16, and the 64-bit era, and they want to get into it. And you get 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds wanting to learn this stuff. So when you see that, they become collectors, believe it or not. And everything that gets like, of course, Pokemon, right? So Pokemon started on the Game Boy, and then Color, and then GBA. That relates to Pokemon cards as well. So they'll collect anything that's Pokemon related, and that could go for any type of series. So I would say definitely it's been a collector's market for sure.
And a lot of people are grading their games now,
Yeah.
keeping them sealed, like acrylic cases to not mess up the cardboards.
Yeah, the whole grading thing. I mean, I don't think there is a good or bad thing about it because you get to do whatever you want with your games, right? Some people, grade their games for they can preserve it, for it can never be opened. Because if it's a rare game, right? Maybe sealed Pokemon Yellow, or let's just say if someone had a little Samsung sealed, you definitely don't want to open that. You want to grade it to preserve the value, or just for keep it for childhood memories. So yeah, whatever people do with grading, whether they keep it or resell it, you collect how you want to collect. No one should tell you what to do when you do, grading. I mean, we're a video game store, obviously. We do have some graded games. We do sell them. But in my personal collection, I do have a few games that, that I keep that I know I'm never going to sell because those are my childhood memories. And, just to throw it out there, Conker's Bad Fur Day and Metal Gear are like my two favorite games. And I do have those games sealed that I'll never get rid of. Yeah, and that's in my personal collection. So, yeah.
That's dope. And when it comes to market prices and like prices always go up and down every day.
Right.
As a game store, if a game significantly goes up in value, how do you keep track of that market?
So we definitely use a lot of eBay and price charting. Sometimes there's another resource out there called GameEye, which helps with the value too. But mainly price charting, because just you actually see the graph and the chart literally going up and down. Or sometimes if someone tells us, hey, you have this game for $30 when it's actually worth 20 now, then we'll look it up. We'll change the price for you, because we can't really control the market either, but we follow the market. So, if it's on the rise, sure, we'll follow that track. But if it's something that we overprice, don't worry, we'll bring it down. Yeah.
Copy. Do you think games, when they get re-released, do you think that's a problem for the originals? Let's just say, like I said, like you mentioned, GoldenEye, it came out for Xbox 360. I mean, Xbox One.
Yeah.
And it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think that can make a significant impact on the market in terms of seeking that game out?
Yeah, and I mean it does, because it'll drop the value. Like I would say perfect example of Paper Mario that recently came out on the Switch, right? So it's on the GameCube, it was running about like 90 to 110 bucks, something like that. And now it's dropping to like 60, 70 because of the new release game on the Switch. But when you run I guess when you remaster a game, sometimes it could have issues, So like I know on the Switch it doesn't have the greatest, frames per second.
Yeah, I heard that the GameCube runs at better frames than the Switch. I heard about that.
So sometimes it could be good, sometimes it could be bad. And then what happens? Everyone stops buying that Switch game, and then they'll start rebuying the GameCube, and then the GameCube value goes up again. So it varies on how they make it, what type of game, if the remaster is good, if it really does make a difference. Because I would say that GTA trilogy, we thought it was gonna be great, but
it's horrible.
It's bad, right? So then everyone went back to get the physical, separately, So
exactly.
It really just depends on how well they remaster the game.
Right. And for your business, how do you promote people to come in? How do you advertise it? Do you pay for any marketing? Like how do you go about that?
Yeah, so Instagram is definitely our main source, how we promote. Here and there I do pay advertisements whenever we're doing something like a special occasion or a big sale. But lucky enough, throughout the years we build a huge following where like all we just do is post games, and that's already enough for us, where people already know who we are. Our contact information is there, so they can call us, DM us, even email us if they have to. We took a lot of years building our following, and I mean, if we didn't have our high following, which is like over 40,000 followers, we probably wouldn't even be here right now, honestly.
And your social media is like you show off the trades, especially from SoCal that just happened recently. I saw that entire trade. You had a whole table full of like heavy titles. That's insane. That's definitely gonna attract somebody to come in.
Yeah, definitely, man. Because when you see like bunch of bangers, man. I mean, even me too, because like when I was not a business owner, I was just a regular vendor. Like I look at other people and they'll fill up a table, and I'm just like, damn, I want to be like that one day, you know. So I learn from other people as well, and I know what people like, what they like to see, especially a flood of games coming into a video game store, you know. And best part about it, they know that, you know, we're gonna test it, clean it, you know, have warranty for it, and they could comfortably come here and buy games versus meeting someone in the street buying a scratch game or something, you know, that may or not work. You know, it could work, it could not. Luckily, we have disc cleaning machines, so we you know, we test all our games and we clean them. So yeah, social media is definitely the best way to promote our business.
With your store, when did you open the store up?
So Game Tower started in March 2018. We used to have multiple locations. We used to have 3 mini stores, anywhere from like 600 to 900 square feet. But obviously a few years ago, you know, we dealt with COVID. You know, we had an issue with one store, so we had to close it down because of the city. Another store that we had in, that was in Santa Clarita. Another store we had in Los Angeles, that one got broken into, fortunately. So we closed that store that same day just because they took a significant amount of inventory that I knew I was not going to recuperate, and I just did not trust the area. So we closed that, and we had our main store in the city of Northridge. The only issue with that one is we were on the 2nd floor, and we wanted to expand because of our LA store that, you know, got broken into. So whatever inventory was left over, we were trying to expand. I had issues with the landlord, we had our differences, so I had to close that and relocate to here in the city of San Fernando, where now we have I think a little over 2,400 square feet.
Nice.
Yeah, from literally from the door all the way to the parking lot in the back. So yeah, that's definitely a blessing that we took, because, you know, that was a very risky move that we did, but we had to do it because we needed the space. And this location we opened up, it was October 2022.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the only Game Tower for now, you know. But I mean, who knows, maybe we might open up another one, but we'll see.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. Yeah, would you like plan on expanding, or do you think owning more than one store, especially in this category of market? Because
yeah,
it's hard to source in general.
Yeah.
So having 2 would kind of make it a little bit more thin in terms of
exactly.
finance.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of saying been there, done that, right? But I think now we're in a much better position to do it, just because the past few years I did do things in a rush, but then again, I didn't know COVID was coming, you know, and COVID obviously ruined a lot of things, you know, and that's when the problem started happening. Now that I guess you can say the world's a little bit more stable now, and we know what position we're in, I think there's a possibility that we can, you know, open up another one, but nothing's set in stone for that yet. So.
And as an owner, would you say that you have everything down packed, or is there still things that you think you can improve as a business owner?
Oh yeah, I would say we always want to improve. We always want to, you know, learn from any mistakes we did in the past. So it's definitely a learning process for us, and that could just be anything, you know, whether it's, you know, trade-ins, whether it's our pricing, organization, you know, because I am a little bit pet peeve, you know, making sure games are nicely organized.
Right, everything's alphabetical order, which some game stores I don't see that. It's, you know, like you're looking for a game, it's like, man, like the M's are with the Z's and the Z's are with the F's.
Yeah, or you have like multiple Resident Evil games everywhere, you know. So yeah, that we always make sure our inventory is nice and clean and stocked and organized. But yeah, rooms of improvement. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say we're perfect at all. I mean, like I said, that's just everything. Like maybe we can do, you know, tournaments, for example. We haven't run a tournament in a few years, so that's something we can definitely work on. You know, getting some more merch, because, you know, we're so busy that we forget to order our own, you know, Game Tower merch.
Right.
So there's so many things. I mean, it's a lot of small things that add up that we can definitely improve on.
With competition, right? You're a very well-known game store. I see all over social media. when you do vending, right? Do you think competition is an issue for you, or I know that you work with other businesses?
Right.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
No, I wouldn't say competition. To me, there's no such thing as competition. There's no such thing as being number one. I work with everyone. I work with all video game stores, vendors, expos. I don't consider anyone an enemy because this is a community. This is a hobby. You know, like to compete to be the best at video games or to sell the best at video games. I think it's kind of dumb in my opinion.
Right.
You know, because the idea is to help out each other build our collections, right? Or help our consumers build our collections. Because even me, like I still collect to this day. So sometimes when I see another store post an item that I don't have, best believe I'm gonna hit them up and like, yo, send me that item. You know, PayPal will sell you right now. So building business relationships with all owners is the best thing you can do, and that's how you actually become very successful. Because you don't give them any point of view of to go against them. You know, like why would you go against them for video games? You know, here in the Valley, we all help each other. We host the pop-up events. You know, we help out with trades because sometimes, let's just say, like you need that Mario game and I need that, you know, Zelda game, so we'll do trades. You know, just to keep our inventory balanced. I don't competition that it shouldn't exist. I don't see no one as a competition, you know. And I always say, you know, if it wasn't for other video game stores and other vendors, definitely wouldn't be here, you know.
And do you happen to sell online by chance?
Yeah. So we use the app called OneUp.
Okay.
OneUp is a live auction app. We run a couple of auctions, but we kind of do something differently. We do a store tour. It's kind of like a virtual tour where we're literally grabbing the phone and just scanning the walls and the cabinets. We figured instead of just posting up random items on a website or just any platform where you can just post up item, look at a photo and a little bit of description of the game, I think is a little kind of a bit boring to me because it's just a photo, right? What I like about OneUp is since everything is live, I can show you the condition. I can tell you that it is complete. I can tell you that, you know, it's not scratched or anything like that. Because I think it's better for someone to actually see it live because OneUp's also recording, so it's not like you can do a switcheroo anyway. I mean, not saying that we'll ever do that, you know, but like you're actually showing the product versus a photo. So I'd rather see the product live, you know, talk about it a little bit, and then boom, put it in the buy it now, and then the customers is more comfortable to buy that item for you because they literally just saw it live, you know. And that's where a lot of our customers love that. You know, they love the idea that they can buy whatever they want, whatever they're asking for on the spot, and we're showing it to them live. You know, so but yeah, definitely the OneUp. Yeah.
It's a good utility to have.
Yeah.
Especially, do you do whatnots mostly on your slow days, or do you have them scheduled in advance?
We try to do it. I'm not gonna lie, just we don't really have a schedule for it. It's just random.
Yeah, you say I'm in the mood to
Yeah, like we try to do it like 2 to 4 times a week, maybe. You know, sometimes just twice a week, just because you know we're so busy, you know, with trade-ins and all that.
Right.
But yeah, we try to do it as whenever we get free time, honestly. But yeah, we want to definitely build like a kind of like a buy it now section for it. So even when we're not on it, it's kind of like a website you can buy after hours. Because we always want to make sure games are always available for our customers. But yeah, definitely OneUp is the way to go. Yeah.
And when it comes to your trade-ins, right? Do you feel like when people bring in the filler games, right, do you deny them or do you always take them in? Because sometimes I hear that game stores, it's just take whatever you can get.
Yeah.
Because it's not every day that anyone can get games sourced.
Yeah.
They just walk through your door.
Yeah. So like, for example, you know, if someone came in with all these trades, you know, you can see these are a lot of games that have been mass produced, right?
Correct.
But we wouldn't just choose 3 of the best games out of this stack, right? I mean, I'm just pulling whatever, right? But we wouldn't do that. We'd be like, oh, we only take these 3 games and offer you a couple bucks. You keep the whatever stuff, right? We actually would just take everything, give you a decent amount of store credit, just for you can get something else in the shop, because you got to think about the consumer. They're bringing in that box of games to get rid of. So why are you gonna just pull out random games for that and kind of ruin their experience here?
Right. It'd be
So-
like, man, like now I'm keeping the garbage. and
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm
So-
not winning.
Yeah,
right?
because I'd rather give you something, even if it is a filler title, I give you $1 in store credit, $2 in store credit. Hey, at least it's something, and especially like even if I said this is all filler and I gave you $2 to $3 in each one, that's still a good amount. Because just like we said, other game stores, they'll just take 2 or 3 games out of here and you keep the rest of it,
Take
So,
GameStop, for example, they'll just give you a couple of pennies. If not, just tell you, don't take those at all.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we'll take in everything. Like I said, depending on what you have, offer cash or store credit, we always try to take in everything.
And do you find yourself seeing trade-ins from a lot of resellers, like repetitive resellers that find stuff out there in the swap meets and the flea markets? Do you see them coming to you since they know they got a good deal and they'll just take just a little bit amount of profits just to
Yeah.
be the middleman?
Yeah, because I used to be that, so I used to get games too. So I know how it works. But yeah, even if I know someone bought, I don't know, a Mario Kart 64 for $5 and they're trying to get, $40 for me out of it, of course we'll wiggle down, maybe probably offer like anywhere from 20 to $30, maybe 35 if I desperately need it, So, I know the margin, I know how the market works, but yeah, we do have a lot of resellers, but we have a respectful business relationship where we both, guess you can say, make profit. Just offer a certain percentage for that person and obviously for myself. So, but yeah, we always get resellers coming in here, which I don't mind. It doesn't bother me.
Of course, as long as both parties are winning.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you miss the hunt by chance? Do you ever go hunting when, like, you feel like you're bored or in general, or do you just stay here all
Yeah.
the time?
Yeah, sometimes I randomly go to the swap meets or I go on Craigslist or OfferUp. I'm always game hunting no matter what. I can be in bed at 1 in the morning. Best believe I'm gonna be on my phone looking at video game collections that I can buy, at that time or even the next day. Or usually what I tell people is if they can come to my shop and bring in all the games that they posted and, instead of sending the games, one by one, making a post one by one,
Right.
I'll usually tell them, hey man, don't waste your time anymore. Just bring all those games in. I'll make you an offer, and then they get cashed out the very next day.
The most convenient way
Yeah.
to sell everything all
Yeah,
at once.
exactly.
Right. And also don't have to worry about meeting 20 different people, relying on them. Sometimes
Exactly.
they'll just bail out without even messaging you back.
Yeah, because I always try to get into their heads. Like I used to be them, so like if I made a post on each one, you know how long that's gonna take.
Pictures, front, back, spine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And let's just say you do have somewhat of a successful selling rate, but you only sold like this stack and you still have the rest of these. Might as well just get rid of them all and
Right.
have, store owner just make an offer for everything. In my opinion,
That makes the most sense.
Yeah.
And what inspired you to make a retro video game store? How long have you been gaming for?
So I've been gaming since I was a kid. This hobby became a career. I never planned out to be a video game store owner. I actually just planned out to. I actually had a really crazy dream. I always wanted to be like a CEO of something, but like I'm talking about like big box stores like a Target or a Best Buy or something. So I always had. I went to college for business management, so that was kind of like my path, to have a career like that. Gaming kind of put a stop for that career because when I realized a lot of these games were going up in value and I started reselling at all these shows, you can see the love and the respect from the community of them trying to find those games when they can, and me as a vendor having all those great titles for them, and they're happy to see that versus someone selling overpriced on eBay or something.
Right.
That kind of gave me an idea, because we got so much respect out of it, and it kind of made me feel good, like, oh man, I actually have games that people want, because I never sold my games as a kid. I never got rid of everything, so I was that weirdo that had like 5 Mario Karts for whatever reason, so that it kind of started from there, you know. And once we started going to expos, the community, like people would literally like tell me and my crew, like, yo, you should open up a video game store. You know, I used to have a business partner back in 2018, and you know, that's how we started. Like, they told us to open up a video game store, and I was like, I don't know, because it seems like a hassle, you know. But just the amount of love and support that we got out of that, you know, it motivated us to open up a store. So we were like, you know what, we're young, man. At the time I was 25, so I was like, even if we start the business and if we fail, it's okay, because we did it while we were young, right? So, you know, I was like, you know, screw it, try it, because you know, you only live once, so you gotta take risk in life. You gotta try, and you know, lucky for us, it was good, and we're still here 6 years later now.
I'm 25 myself. I just turned 25 2 weeks ago, so that's pretty inspiring to know that you started at an age that I am now, and I'm currently working on my own business. So that's really good to hear how you came a long way. And did you ever imagine yourself getting this far when you started?
No, man. It's like, I'm telling you, it's the community, man. It's like they kept pushing us to go bigger and bigger, you know. And I was kind of like, no, I don't want to do that. But it just the amount of support that we got, man. That's why we are, I guess you can say, you know, noticeable now in the valley. You know, the size of our store, the inventory that we have, the big following that we have, you know, between like Facebook, Instagram, even on OneUp too. We get massive support from everyone, you know. So I do feel, you know, I feel blessed. You know, I feel like they take care of us, and we take care of them, you know, by giving them awesome games and awesome deals, you know. So
and like, retro gaming is at its all-time high in popularity, and I think you jumped in at the perfect time, to be honest.
Right.
Do you think it's recommended for someone today to jump into the market when there's a lot of people starting out and doing it at this moment, since competition is so widespread?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, because you are right. The retro market is definitely skyrocketed. It's pretty bad, actually. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you were in it before, you're maybe a little too late, unless you still want to do it, but you got to have like high financial capital to do it, you know. Because, like, for example, like Pokemon games like Pokemon Coliseum, man, 2018, I used to sell that for like $30-40.
Wow.
Now it's $180 to $200 game, you know. And that's not even talking about Gale of Darkness. The Gale of Darkness is like a $250 game. I wouldn't be surprised if it hits 300.
Right.
You know, so those are the type of margins that you have to work with if you wanted to start reselling games, if you want to open up a video game store. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a little tough, but hey, if you have the backup of capital, you have financial gain, go ahead and do it, you know. But I'm not gonna lie, it'll be a little bit tough, you know,
unless you get lucky at a garage sale, something like that. And
yeah, if you go to a garage sale and you bought someone's collection and it's, I don't know, let's just say it's worth like 60,000, you only bought it for $1,000, all right, cool, you got hey, you're basically like in the same level as everyone else now, you know, because of the amount of value you have in the inventory. But I mean, it could happen, who knows, man.
Yes, and since the market is increasing in popularity, a lot more people are becoming aware of what their stuff is worth.
Exactly,
and they'll try to resell it for the market price that it's valued at.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to trade-ins, right, because I've heard from a couple of store owners before, you see the same stuff every day. You get the same games in every week, and you get that same console 10 times over and over when you think this is the best thing you've ever seen. What are you most excited about when someone walks through that door? What is that one item that you're always going to be happy about, that just going to excite you no matter how many times you get it?
Because I mean, like, when people come in trade-ins, there's always something that's going to catch your eye, you know. And like I said, you know, whether it's that one item or all those games, we're just excited that you thought about us just to bring in the games. I mean, that's the most important thing. And then we know we're going to take care of you, because you know, we're going to take all your stuff, give you a good amount of cash or store credit, and then you can get something that you actually want. So because like for example, something like this could potentially trade for maybe that N64 game that you're looking for, or a couple of GameCube games, something you actually want. Because for us is us bringing in the trades. People also look for some cheaper end titles.
Correct.
So we don't mind people bringing in the fillers, or even you're bringing expensive stuff. The other day we did get a box Earthbound, right? So which is chilling right there. That happened 2 days ago, but like for example, that person obviously knows what the value is, but he didn't want to spend money out of his pocket, so he just rather get a good amount of store credit and then get a bunch of games that he can play or resell, whatever he wants to do with it. Because thankfully you're not taking money out of your pocket, you're kind of recycling the money from one item.
Exactly.
We work in so many different ways. We don't have like set prices. We don't, we sometimes we even pay up to like 75% or even 80% if we really need it. Obviously we can't pay 100 because we don't get anything out of it. And plus we do pay sales tax, and we have overhead and all that. So there's always margins we got to do, but we're pretty good with trade-ins, honestly. Well, I think that's probably one thing that would stand out more than maybe other people, because we take in everything.
I mean, what you're surrounded by shows that in proof. If people weren't happy, you wouldn't have nothing on the shelves.
Yeah. We try our best, man. And then I'm every day. I don't know if you've seen on my Instagram, but every day I'm posting that we buy all your games, whether it's cash or store credit. So,
what's the most expensive item or rare item that you're proud to have in your store at the moment?
Probably we have a graded Pokemon Stadium 2. Graded by CGC, so it's probably like the most expensive item that we have right now. But usually this cabinet here, we keep all the popular and rare stuff. We did get the for the Sega Saturn, the Panzer and Dragoon Saga. I mean that's a big one. We got the Gotcha Force, couple box CIB Mega Mans on the Super Nintendo. Each one of those is very expensive. So I wouldn't say that not one item stands out. It's just that maybe that part of that whole cabinet there.
Yeah, that's the Grail. That's the Grail cabinet right there.
The Grail cabinet, But yeah, and I know a lot of people like to trade up for that stuff too. So
right, so it's also a good showpiece for those who want to walk in and just browse and like, oh my god, wow, you have Earthbound. It's like I'm not gonna buy it, but that's really cool to see.
Yeah. And also too, because each game has a story of why it's expensive. So, for example, like Sculptus Cut, people get freaked out with the price. Oh, $1,000, $1,500, And there, I'm like, well, there's a reason to that, because the game is horrible. It really is, right? But there's a reason why it's expensive. And then when we explain that, I'm like, yeah, because it's a Blockbuster exclusive. It was never sold in stores back in the day. So when Blockbuster went out of business and they sold their inventory and their stock, no one knew about that game. So, and since there are not a lot of copies out there, well, guess what? The value of that game starts rising for not being sold in stores. And if for someone that's a hardcore Nintendo collector or someone that wants to complete their N64 collection, now they're missing that one piece, and it's Sculptus Cut.
And that's going to be me eventually when it comes to it.
Yeah, exactly. But stories like that is what is exciting to tell, and the reasoning why that specific game is expensive.
And a lot of people don't understand why prices fluctuate. If someone would say, "Oh, that's just a piece of plastic. I can emulate that." It's like, well, that's cool, but do you have it in your hand?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could be one of the few people in the world that has Sculptus Cut, because I've been doing this for so long, and I still know people to this day that I work with, they still don't have Sculptus Cut in their collection, even though they want it, but they're afraid to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
So
is it worth is it worth the rent?
Yeah, exactly.
That I have to pay for this.
Yeah,
month?
exactly.
Yeah.
So but yeah, that could go for any rare game that they're looking for.
That's insane, man, that you have that on your shelf. Can you recall your favorite trade-in or your favorite memory being a store owner, like a customer's experience that you can always just put a smile on your face, or not just good, but like, have you ever had a bad experience in the store?
Oh yeah, because sometimes customers that may not understand the value of games, and they'll let's just say look up everything on eBay, add it up. So let's just say they brought in a lot, and it's worth $1,000. Let's just say they brought like 20 games, right? And the value is $1,000. The value is there, but sometimes they'll come in and be like, "Oh yeah, I want $1,000 for it." They're like, "Oh well, we can't offer you $1,000. That's 100% retail value. Obviously, we're a store. We gotta make something out of it. We have overhead, so we offer a percentage." And like I said earlier, we offer at least between 50 to sometimes 70. If we're desperate, 75%, because we at least need a 25% margin to make something out of it. So customers don't understand that. They think we're just lowballing them, and we tell them, look, if you want to try to sell this on your own, there's eBay and all that, but they don't not understand they have to pay the fees, the shipping, even the shipping supplies, all that. It's time and money that they don't realize, because it's easy for you to say, oh, I can just sell it online, but it's actually a little bit harder than that. But we always try to make the customer understand, and sometimes it works for us where let's just say we got it for 60%, and that they learn from that, because we taught them a little bit. Then they understand, they'll give us the inventory. Or sometimes they might get a little upset and they just walk away. Hey, it's your inventory, you can do whatever you want with it.
Right.
The only thing we do is just make offers, and that's pretty much it when it comes to customers with the trade-ins.
There's never anything personal. It's just
Yeah.
the best I can do for you. I have a business, I have to operate. I can't give you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes we'll just tell them, hey, look, there's a few other stores in the area. See if they want to buy it, whatever percentage that may be. But we always try to make it always in good terms. We're always trying to, even if it's a bad thing, we're always trying to make it a good thing, no matter what.
And there's a lot of controversy when I see online that resellers are scumbags, right? But no one basically says the same thing for a game store because they have a brick and mortar.
Right. Yeah.
Do you think there's a difference between a reseller that goes out there to hunt and a store owner that has a brick and mortar?
Look, man, I respect the hustle. If someone is getting up 4, 5, 6 in the morning, going to swap meets, yard sales, flea markets, and they get games and they put it online to sell, you can't be mad at a hustler, because they decided to take a risk in their life by relying on a value of a game to pay their bills or even to get something to eat, because they probably don't want someone breathing on their shoulder, at a 9-to-5 job, So to hate on someone selling stuff, I think it's wrong. Why are you gonna hate? Because maybe that person might be miserable in their lives and they're just trying to bring them on to their level. Those people you shouldn't really pay attention to. All that negativity, just brush it away like if nothing happened. You do you keep hustling, and that could be anything, not just video games. It could be comic books, cards. Even the sneaker market is big right now. Vintage clothing too. It doesn't matter what you're selling, as long as you're hustling. At least you'll get my respect for it. That's the most important thing. To work with those positive people, ignore all that negativity, especially if they're talking bad about you, or leaving a bad comment. Just keep working on it, and don't respond, because that makes you look bad.
Right.
Just keep moving forward, keep pushing, being consistent. That's all that matters, and that's how you actually become successful. Just ignoring all that negativity.
And not a lot of people realize that if this stuff don't sell at a garage sale, it's just gonna get tossed in the bin, garbage. Stuff can be broken. We're taking a risk that we're not even sure if it works. We could spend that $50 and oh man, it's $20 now. I just lost money doing that.
Yeah,
the gas, the time.
There's always risk, man. Especially if you're buying it, like I guess you could say from the street. There's always that risk. But hey, they decided to take that chance, and you have to respect them for that. It's the same thing as you buying a car off the street. I can tell you it's good condition, running fine, but once I give you that keys and that pink slip, that's it. It's your problem now. So Oh, going back to what I was saying about building good relationships with vendors and all that. My buddy here, Cali Collectibles. You want to come in the video real quick? I just want to
How you doing, brother?
Yeah. Don't be shy. Come on. So he's one of the vendors here in the valley that actually helped us get inventory and all that. He's like literally one of the reasons why our shelves look like this. Because he's also a reseller. He's a vendor too. He was just at the expo with selling his own games. He got his own booth. So he does his business, I do my business, but we always meet in the middle with both parties. If we get a good margin, we get some good stuff in here in the store. And he gets crazy stuff, because he game hunts all the time. So yeah, appreciate you, bro.
Oh, I appreciate you, man.
It's good to
I
have
don't exist without you. I can't go hunt. You don't make deals, so
yeah.
there you go.
It's
Appreciate
good.
you.
Works.
It's good to have business relationships because if you ever need something, one hand washes the other.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, you're in dire need of an item, like you said. You make a couple of calls, you find it.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
could be vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Ryan, Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice Gaming.
Taught me that.
Yeah.
The other day. He's like, yo, one important thing about business is maintaining.
Yep.
100% agree with him, and I'm learning it more and more, like as we go through business, growing our business.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This guy was at my wedding.
Oh yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
cool we are now.
Yeah.
No such thing as competition.
Yeah.
No
Yeah. Yeah.
no competition. Just
yeah.
yourself. That's it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yourself is your competition. You don't really need to.
Yeah. There's no competition, as I was saying earlier. To be number one to sell video games, I think that's kind of childish.
Yeah.
It's a hobby, man. We're all into it. Let's help out each other. That's
And
Can't be better at selling video games.
Right.
than one person.
yeah.
The stuff you get too, different stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
do you think, what are the pros and cons of having a brick and mortar for those who compare to me? I sell from home, and you have a business. Do you think one is better and easier than the other?
Definitely benefits. You're waking up every day for something that you love, right? Seeing what walks in through that door, the trade-ins, what type of person they are, building that relationship, whether it's games or even someone coming here to play, Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh cards. The feeling of making other people happy is something I can't really describe, because that's all what I'm about, is the community. What I always want to make sure everyone that walks in here is happy with the store, with the experience that they come in, and that could just be anything, even just talking right now just about games, you know what I mean? They're people have a lot of bad days, but when they come in here, man, they leave with a smile, so I always want to make sure we always have a great atmosphere here. And of course, getting great trade-ins, buying, selling, trading is, another great thing. I would say cons, probably sales tax, man, because California, we're more expensive than New York, I believe.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Coming
so-
from here is completely different. What? I
Yeah,
get
'cause-
charged extra cents for some water bottles. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah, see, because in New York, they don't have CRV, whatever.
CRV.
That's
Tax,
crazy.
Yeah,
Can
so.
you buy a TV? You got for that electronic
Oh, yeah.
tax?
Yeah, so you guys coming from New York, now you guys think we're expensive.
Yeah.
For real.
When New York was expensive, now we're expensive, man. So, because you're always gonna have rent, you're always gonna have the utility bills, but man, California sales tax, yeah, it's kind of getting out of hand. Not gonna lie.
And having a business is a beast of its
Yeah.
own
It's
in
like
this
paying-
location.
Yeah, it's like paying 2 rents here, man, at once. So that'll probably be the only con thing that I have about having a big, and that goes for all types of businesses, because depending on how much you sell per month, California wants that tax money, so yeah, that'll probably be the only thing, and yeah, that's literally the only thing on my list of having a video game store, just sales tax.
Have you ever, in the back of your mind, saying, "I'd rather just do this all from home"? Would you ever? Have you ever thought it to yourself is this worth it?
Wait, damn, man, that's funny you said it. We talked about that so many times with my team. We were actually this close,
Yeah.
this close to doing it, because it's Well, luckily we have the value in the inventory where we don't really need to hunt for like almost the next year or two. And we can technically, have multiple online sources, eBay, building my own website, whatnot, Macari, and the list goes on, right? Like we could have all those, resources filled up with inventory and just sell them 24/7, But I feel like at one point it won't be fun anymore, because I feel like we'll disconnect with the people. We won't have that vibe anymore. Game Tower won't exist no more. It would just be a person selling, let's just say, out of his garage. I think it's probably like a boring lifestyle because you went from here to doing this, just to save a few bucks. It probably would make sense number wise, but I think of business relationships that you had, with the community and everyone else that might take a big fall, honestly. So we thought about it, but we're like, you know what? Nah, let's just keep on going and hopefully open up another one.
Yeah, this business isn't for the weak. It's very, a lot of people think it's just about taking it in and putting it back out.
Exactly.
It's not like that at all.
Yeah,
It takes a lot of effort, a lot of detail, like paying attention to all the details and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And do you see yourself, like in 5 years, what's the next step for you since you already have this established?
Definitely next 5 years. For sure have a second store about the size of this one. Kind of have like 2 monster stores. Probably won't open up more from there because been there, done that with 3 already. But at least have 2 monster stores filled up with inventory like this, and that maybe at the other location where I'm able to expand my events. Because we host an event called Retro Madness. We bring vendors, kind of like SoCal Gaming Expo, but a very much smaller scale, where we can bring like 20 vendors or something. That's something that we do here in the Valley. So I would, in the next 5 years, make sure that we're always constantly running events, tournaments, even a birthday occasion. If someone wanted to celebrate their birthday at our store, have a gaming section where they can just literally sit there, eat pizza, and just play games all day. That's what I would want to see Game Tower within the next 5 years.
When you're here, right? Do you ever find yourself, just because of nostalgic reasons, that impact certain decisions that you make in the store based off of your own likings?
Yeah, like if I make a mistake on whatever.
Right, just like your emotions took over your common sense and thought.
I would. Sometimes if I ever make a mistake, whatever that can be, that's why I have my team to back me up. Because I always have a lot going on in my head, whether it's a personal thing or the business thing. So sometimes I might not always be there. That's why I have my team to kind of make those business decisions for me, because I do trust them. And like I said, that could be anything that goes on in here. So yeah.
And have you ever took something that got traded and you kept it for yourself?
There's a few things where I'm looking for a certain variant or maybe even an upgrade. Especially like say a Dreamcast, because that's my favorite system of all time. So if I do see something that I need, especially what I've been looking at for a few years, definitely keep it in.
That's a good perk. You don't have to look for it, you don't have to shop for it. Walks to your door. Oh wow, that's convenient if you're looking for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And maybe the rest of the trade that comes with it will pay that expense off.
Exactly.
And it'll balance out.
Yeah, and then nowadays I kind of have everything that I need, so it's like not really much that I look for. So, and now it's just like, well, even if I need it now, let's give it about a week to see if a customer might need it. But if they don't take it, then I'll probably take that variant or that upgrade.
And I've asked another business owner this question a long time ago, but when you buy high value items and they just sit on the shelf for years, do you think that purchase was worth it?
Well, see, that's the thing. We tried not to have the items sit there for a while, because in the end of the day, we will just try to trade it off. We make sure that game gets to someone's house, or we'll possibly take it to a video game store or a vendor like him that might have a bunch of games that I need, you know. So like if I have a $1,000 game and he has multiple games that are worth like 20, 30, 50 bucks, if he's able to do that trade with me, then I'll probably take maybe about 20 games from him. And if he wants to keep that rare game for his personal collection, or he wants to try to resell it, we always try to figure out what to do with that game no matter what. Or we'll just let it go for a little bit cheaper if we have to. You know, we always find out a good positive way to do with that expensive item, you know. Or if we just want to keep it just for the looks, you know, because I like that Earthbound that's just right there, you know.
Right.
I don't mind it not selling. It actually looks nice there, that corner. So.
And for my final question, for those who want to operate a brick and mortar or get into this whole scene of retro gaming, what's one piece of advice you'd give to them for those who want to just start out?
Don't take out a loan, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Because if you take out a loan, you're already 20 steps behind. Another thing, build your inventory. And I mean build it. Like, it'll at least take you like a whole year. Like when you're buying games, don't even think about selling them. Just throw them in a storage, throw them in your garage, don't think about them. Until the day where you can't even walk into your storage anymore and it's that full of inventory, then that's when you can think about it, and then of course look at your financial status from there. But if you open up a store now and you have no inventory and you took out a loan, you're gonna fail. I'll tell you right there, you know. I learned that from many different business owners. They never took out a loan for anything, and they pulled everything out of their pocket, but they built their inventory. That's the number one thing. And then every day, be consistent, you know, because if you stop, someone else is going to do better than you know, and no days off. Just keep going, whether it's a birthday or you and your wife's wedding anniversary or whatever. Sorry, you know,
Awesome.
like, I don't know,
Business is business.
business is business, you know. Holidays too, you know, like you miss Christmas this year, well, you'll see them next year. Like, that's how I always think, you know. So because especially your first year, man, you want to stand out. Of course, you know, you want to, you know, make your sales, make your money, be consistent with the store, get your name out there. The first year is very important.
Yeah.
You know, and if you take a step back from it, you might have some issues, you know. So
It's a lot of sacrifice.
yeah, long sacrifice, be consistent. Don't celebrate your birthday. Your birthday is not important, you know, like just your business birthday is important. The day you do grand opening, that's the only birthday you should be celebrating, you know. But yeah, being persistent and consistent with your daily goals when you open up a business. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time, Elliot. For those who want to look at Game Tower, where can they find you?
Mainly you can find us on Instagram _Game Tower. You can also follow us on OneUp. That's Game Tower as well. And you can email us, gametower64@yahoo.com.
And we'll put all those links in the description below. Elliot, thank you for your time, brother. Appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate
And
you
hope
guys.
you all enjoyed the video. And you guys learned a lot.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Guys, that wraps up today's video. Like, subscribe, and comment if you guys have ever shopped here. Support your local business store owners. And I'll catch you in the next one. Plug Nostalgia Doshi. I'll catch you all later.